Boy up, it's D&D in the building. Purdue power, no ceiling. Yeah. Double D back, that's Derek and Dalton. Talking gold blood, Mackey been molten. Black and gold dreams, banners we folding. Paint crew loud, every rim gets swollen. Stats so clean, you think it's a scheme. History books get Purdue screen. From humble to E-Day, legends on replay. We run through Mars like it's just another weekday. Double the energy, talking that legacy. Boiler boys cooking, no recipe. Microphone magic, rivalry static. We breaking it down, keep it cinematic. You want the heat, better tune in fast.
Hey, welcome back to the Double D Podcast. My name is Derek, and as always, this is my co-host Dalton. We're coming to you today to preview Purdue's upcoming game Wednesday at 7 p.m. against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. A hopeful return to form for Purdue and Mackey Arena. Put what's behind us and start to move forward and reassert ourselves and our identity moving forward. We're really going to hope that this team, took the kick in the ass and uses it to get right in this game. It's obviously a chance to do so. Minnesota's 112th in KenPom. Not a good team. They did beat IU though, so you do still have to be careful. And they do have a great coach in Nico Medved, first year, one of the great offensive minds in college basketball. Doesn't have a ton to work with this Minnesota roster, but do believe that they can get you if you're not paying attention and you get a little sleepy. I don't expect Purdue to be that way in this game, obviously coming off what they just came off. And I'm sure that Minnesota in general is not thrilled with Iowa State for giving Purdue this much attention to this game. So what are your initial thoughts? And, what do you think of this Minnesota team? Have you watched them at all? Have you seen anything?
The only game I've watched of Minnesota is the IU game. I did watch that game. IU pretty much gave that game to them. With them being 112, I expect it to be like a similar to an Akron or maybe even an Oakland type of team. But at the same time, they have a pulse. And they are Division I college basketball players, so buyer beware. Obviously, Purdue has to go out and play the game. So still got to play. It's what I say every time, no matter who your opponent is. You still have to show up. It's at Mackey. Obviously, Purdue's probably pissed, as they should be. So I think that, a dub is in the near future for the Boilers. What are your thoughts initially?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a get-right game against not a very good Minnesota team. They do have firepower at the top. Cade Tyson is a guy, if a lot of Purdue fans remember, that Purdue was rumored to be on a little bit in the offseason. Is a transfer, was at North Carolina last year, couldn't really get in the rotation, but is averaging almost 22 points a game for Minnesota. Very similar to the build of that Momcilovic guy that we just played. Not as talented, obviously, but a scorer, 3-level scorer, can shoot the ball, can drive the ball, 6'8", going to be a mismatch no matter who we put on him. I fully expect for him to go off in this game. Luckily for Purdue, fortunately, that shouldn't matter. They don't have enough around him. They are out their starting point guard. That's going to be a, pretty big situation. I think, they really needed him. And with him not being in the game, I think it's just going to make things a little bit harder for them. Chancey Willis is a veteran point guard that they have that, leads their team. He's the guy that brings the ball to the floor. This would be similar without the same drastic level as us not having, Braden. So they have kind of a point guard by committee with a couple of other guys now, but honestly, it's a 19-point spread on KenPom. I would be shocked if it stays within that spread. I think this is a game that Purdue is going to really try to assert themselves. They don't really have any size, like they have a lot of wing size, guard size, but they have no big man size. So it should be a game that guys like Clough and DJ can really go to work. I'd like to see TKR do some work down low. Most of their guys are 6'9", 6'10". So really hoping, I'll be in attendance with my son and my dad, and really hoping that we get to watch, a true beatdown. It's what I hope for. It's what I expect. It's what these players should want to do. I think Painter should let the reins completely off. This isn't a, hey, let's be friendly here type of game. I know Nico did coach Ethan Morton last year, so he that's probably what he expects Purdue has player-wise, and he'll be surprised to see that that's not all we're cracked up to be. So, yeah, excited for the game, excited to get right. The hardest part of this, and I think I saw it on the preview for Boilers in the Stands, Craig said it, the worst part of a loss like the one we just had is the time between the next game, where you just have to kind of sit and wait around and see everybody talking crap about your team and you talking crap. We just did a preview recap yesterday where that's all we did for an hour and 10 minutes, and deservedly so. But now it's time to move on to this game, and I think that Purdue will handle their business in this game and not just show up thinking they're going to win automatically.
Hey man, yeah, Tyson, he's a baller. I mean, 22 points a game pretty much. About 5 boards, 2 assists. He turns it over about 2 times a game. Something that stands out to me about Minnesota is their 3-point percentage is horrible, which means they'll shoot probably 50 to 60% tomorrow night. Some people call that the Purdue curse. I call it soft ass defense.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, if something continues to happen, it's not bad luck. It's bad defense.
What's the Purdue curse? Everyone shoots their, wow.
According to Wikipedia, dude, tell Alexa to stop listening.
What is going on right now, dude?
And now my dogs are barking. This is chaos. This is, we still got a little leftover from that Iowa State game, okay? There's still shit happening in the background that we don't have to talk about.
This is insane. Why did that just happen? Anyways,
dude, it happens in our house all the time.
Moving forward, thanks. AI is annoying. Yeah, they're not great. They're a terrible 3-point shooting team, but it's like that means nothing.
Yeah, this is one game I would like to see Purdue, because they don't have their starting point guard. Get our guards in their shit. Like, get on their ass and be in their grill. Do not, this team has no size inside. We should have no reason to be doubling the post. Their biggest center, they have a 6'9" guy and then a couple 6'8" dudes. Like, I'm sorry, if TKR, Clough, and Jacobson can't handle them one-on-one, then what are we doing? Like, there's no reason to let this team beat you from 3. They're also equally bad defending the 3. So they do double hard because they have no size. We should have wide open 3 after wide open 3. And I would like to see, after a game we shot 20%, for us to come out and shoot about 60% from 3. Feels like we should. And yeah, Cade Tyson's obviously the head of their snake. He is their do-it-all guy. He's going to be the guy that Purdue fans go, holy crap, who is this guy? During the game. Now my phone's ringing. Gee, many crickets. But yeah, and then they have another guy. So the 2 guards that will replace Chauncey are Langston Reynolds. He's a ball handler, more of a creator type as well. Mostly playing the point guard, but he'll also share some with Isaac Azuma. He's a good on-ball defender. He's going to be their defensive guy. Good rebounder for a guard too, kind of, similar to like a CJ. Good defender, good rebounder, can make an open shot if he's given one. But in reality, there's, outside, they have good size, 6'3", 6'4". There's really not a ton to be fearful of. They're not great shooters. Their guards are not the head of their offense. They are the guys bringing the ball up the floor, but everything is fed into Cade Tyson. And then a guy, Jalen Crocker-Johnson, who's a relatively bigger wing style as well. Probably like a TKR matchup. He is a rim protector. He does get a decent amount of blocks for a guy that's only 6'9", I think. And then he'll probably be the guy guarding TKR. So, they have a good, and their center spot's kind of just a rotation. They run 2 or 3 different guys at that spot. One thing I did notice about Minnesota that's kind of weird, they're really good at drawing fouls. A lot of that comes from Tyson, but I'm actually excited for that part because it's in Mackey. Purdue has been seen so far to expect to get calls and become big babies when they don't. So in a game against a team that really does draw fouls, be interesting to see how our players respond. I'd like to see them just put their heads down and walk the other direction. I don't want to see the throwing my hands in the air, complaining, talking to the refs. Knock all that shit off and just go play basketball.
Yeah, Tyson has he draws a lot of fouls.
He shoots a lot of free throws too.
Yeah, I'm saying he's more than doubled their next guy, Crocker Johnson, in free throws. So obviously this guy knows how to, get to the line. So it will be interesting to see how that's handled. I wanted to hit on earlier, you said that we should throw the ball inside to eat against this team. So I fully expect us to shoot about 30 to 35 threes this game. I am not fully recovered from Iowa State, if you can't tell. So I fully expect us to just be jacking, If we hit 60%, I hope we put up 120 on these guys and just make it a statement. I think in my heart of hearts, we'll let them hang around. We'll play around with our food. I wouldn't call the spread. That's just my opinion on it. It's I hope I'm wrong. Hope that Purdue proves me wrong. The guys come out and the seniors act like senior leaders. And, we blow them out by 40 to 50.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. My opinion is that Purdue will this isn't a game I don't think Purdue's going to screw around. We actually have, I heard this, I believe on Sleepers preview that, Purdue, other than Evansville, has not had a game where they have been commandingly in the lead with 10 minutes in. We beat Texas Tech by 30, but that game was tight early. The other games, Eastern Illinois hung around. Every game we have struggled in the first 10 minutes. And those are your starters. Those are the guys that should come out and put belt to ass right away. Those are supposed to be 2 All-Americans and one of the best shooters in the country. Well, they're not playing like it, especially in the first 10 minutes. So that's one thing I'll really be hoping and looking for in this game is Purdue to come out with a hot start and not just go out there and half-ass it and shoot a few threes. And this is a team that plays at an even slower pace than Purdue. They're like 354th nationally. Purdue needs to we should be able to dominate them, rebound, get boards, kick it out, run, score. This isn't even a decent Minnesota team. It's not a good team. They have almost no depth. 12% of their minutes come from their bench. If you get them in any sort of foul trouble, they're done for. This should be an attack. 40 minutes of attacking, no let up, no walking it up the floor, that just slow motion. There's no reason. That's just playing into their hand. They want less possessions because they're not as efficient. And I think that's what you're going to hopefully see in this game is Purdue give it a little more pace, because I think that we saw in the last game against Iowa State that the playing another team who plays that style, isn't going to work if you're not hitting jump shots. You can eliminate the necessity to make jump shots if you play at a faster pace with such an efficient offense. I mean, you'd think, and this is something I've never really understood about Purdue. Painter is very high on offensive efficiency, but he plays slow. If you're really efficient, wouldn't you want more opportunities to be efficient? That's just always been my thought process. Obviously I'm not a college basketball coach, so I don't envy what position he's in to have to figure that out. But yeah, I think if I'm just being real honest, if this game isn't by the end of I'd say the under 8 timeout, if we're not clearly going to win this game, then I don't think any problems have been solved. I don't think there's, outside of Minnesota just raining threes, which is possible, but again, that's a Purdue problem. That's not a luck problem. So
You sure
outside
about
of that, yeah, I'm positive about that. I've seen it for 10 years. That every single game somebody goes off for the other team. It's as if we just are we're going to let this guy go off this game. We should not be doubling in this game, but we probably will. It's just what we do. But with them, without their point guard, they already have a shallow team anyway when it comes to depth. They have 2 guys on their bench that play very little, and they do nothing when they're in. So they're really a 5-man team with 1 guy on the bench. So it should be a resounding victory. I don't think we have to dig too deep into this game. It's I think the bigger dig will be if this game's close during the recap, as to, really figuring out what actually is going on with Purdue. This isn't a game where we go win by 10 points and everything's hunky dory. Like, if we win by 10 points, there's something wrong. You're at home.
Range.
You're coming off a terrible loss at home. You should have zero doubt about motivation in this game and hustle. There's my dog again. I'll let you talk for a second until they stop barking.
Yeah, all right, Kylo. Good to hear from you. Our dogs are brothers, and his brother was barking in my house about 5 minutes ago because the terrible UPS guy decided to bring a package.
My dog hates the mailman.
Why would he do that?
I don't understand why you can't just leave it at the road.
Yeah, why would you even think about bringing it and putting it on our porch,
Yeah, it's been one of those days too. The electric company showed up for some reason. I had food delivered earlier. There's been 2 or 3 packages dropped. My dog is just having a day.
Yeah, that Dizzy was going off earlier, so.
And to be fair, my dog wouldn't hurt anyone if they actually did try to intrude.
They're both soft. They are soft as butter, dude.
A couple golden doodles that have a lot more bark than they got bite.
Yes, they do sound intimidating.
Kind of like Purdue against Iowa State.
Yeah, a lot of bark, 0 bite, 0. Jump into Purdue.
Yeah, so I want to do something a little different here. I think we hit on our players in a negative way in the last game. So we have 10 guys that play, okay? Let's go through those 10 guys, and let's just say one thing that each of us wants to see. Doesn't have to be super explained, doesn't have to be super detailed. One thing that you want to see from every player in this game, and like for, some of the lower bench guys, it could be like, I just want to see him get in the game. I just want to see him, take a couple shots, whatever it is. So we'll start at the top. Braden Smith, what do you want to see in this game?
One thing, scoring.
Like that. You went with scoring. I want just take care of the ball. I want 2 or less turnovers. In a game against a team whose starting point guard is out, that shouldn't be tough to do. I would love to see scoring as well, though. But if we get scoring and low turnovers, then we're in for a good treat. TKR.
Go to the bucket.
Post scoring. I like that. So I'll try to say something different every time, even though a lot of mine are probably the same. TKR, I want to see a better attitude.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with his gameplay, his rebounding, his scoring, none of that. Don't care. I want to see a guy hungry, angry in a basketball form, but not angry because of calls, not angry because of things not going his way. I just want to see a good attitude out of him. What about
Aggression? Lawyer. Get the threes going.
Yeah, that's pretty clearly the one. I think he's 1 for his last 11. I want to see, this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, I think. I want to see Lawyer get to the basket. We saw that some last year. Like he was drawing fouls going to the basket. I'd like to see him get to the basket a couple times. Use the old pump fake and go. So I'd like to see it. What about Oscar Clough?
15 boards, brick wall.
Man, brick wall. And this is a game he could do it. This is definitely a game he could do it. This is gonna sound crazy, I think, and maybe it is crazy because I don't even know how to put it into practice. But I want him to get out of the way. Like I want him. When TKR gets the ball, I want him to move out of the way, not go to the other block. I want him get out of there. Let TKR go one-on-one. That's what TKR is good at. So just get out of the way, and not all the time. Obviously, I want him to rebound, but when it's offense and TKR's got the ball, get the hell out of the way. CJ Cox.
3 steals.
Damn, you stole mine right out of my mouth. I was gonna say that because you're going up against a backup point guard. I just want. I'll say it without exact numbers. Just be a damn pest. You're playing backup point guards who aren't true point guards. Be a damn pest. Piss them off. Get them hustle. Get them sped up. Get them doing ugly stuff. It doesn't even have to be turnovers. Just ugly stuff. Yeah, I like that. Jakari.
Oh, probably similar. Whoever you're in shouldn't be breathing. Or whoever he's guarding shouldn't be very comfortable the entire time.
I want to see Jakari rebound in this game. It's something that I feel like he's not. Like CJ is a better rebounder than Jakari, and to me that doesn't make a lot of sense. Rebounding from a guard perspective is mostly effort and being in the right spot. I'd like to see that from him. We haven't seen much of it this year. What about Jacobson?
Hit all your free throws.
Okay. Okay, I like that. Mine with Jacobson is I want to see Jacobson play 18 or more minutes. In a game like this that we should be leading, I want to see what Jacobson can do in real minutes. He's only done that once this year, and if I remember, he had like 24, 10, and 6. Okay, let me see it. Put him in the game.
Yeah.
I dominated the one game he really got a lot of runs. So, Homer.
Drive, big, strong body. No reason to keep jacking threes. Get your confidence back. Get some middies. Get to the hole. He's quick. He's strong with the ball. No reason that linebacker style body can't get to the rim.
I like that. Mine's similar in a different way. I want to see 5 or more assists. I want to see distribution. You're touted as a high level passer. I understand you can score on high volume, but that you don't need to be high volume on this team. I need you to be a great passer when you're in there for Braden. I need you to be Braden 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, there's games Braden doesn't look for a shot at all, and he'll have 12 assists. So be that guy. And if you're gonna shoot it, put it in the hoop.
Yeah.
Don't shoot it 7 times. Like if your first 2 or 3 don't go in, just start distributing, man. Jack Benner.
I would like to see him get time at the 3. I'm tired of him guarding huge guys and not getting to showcase what he really is. So it would just be that's what I would hope for. To see him at the 3, see what he can do against guys his own size, because I think he could eat.
Like that, especially in a game like this where they have a little bit bigger wings, but not a ton of interior size. I want to see Benner put up 3 or more threes. I think that he's a guy that he's like lightning, you know, if he gets hot, it's over. So most games he's only getting 1 or 2. Like just let me get a couple extra. Liam Murphy.
I would like to see him play more than 8 minutes.
Okay.
Because the guys, he isn't lightning, because it doesn't just strike once.
Yeah.
He's a forest fire. He's coming and he's inevitable. That 3 is going to fall.
Yeah, I like that too. I'd like to see mine's similar. I want to see him play, but I'd like to see a little TKR at the 5, Murphy at the 4 minutes. You know, in the right situation, or even Murphy at the 3. I don't think he's so slow we couldn't do that. This is a team that plays extreme. Like Minnesota has 0 get out and run game. They don't do it. There's no worry about how fast the guys on the floor is. You need a guy that can guard somebody like Cade Tyson, and Murphy's a guy that could guard him. And then let's go with one bonus here, Mr. Aaron Fine. Hope he gets in.
Season high 6 points.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say 5 or more minutes, because if he gets 5 or more minutes, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just wanted to throw him a little bit of a bone there. And what do you want to see? One thing from Coach Painter.
Man, a little bit of intensity. Maybe get teed up. Just to let me know.
From the coach.
Let me know you care. I know you care, but
I want to see him do something different. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a zone, you know, he has been known. I'm not saying he's going to change the starting lineup after a loss, especially one that bad. Maybe that's DJ starting. Maybe that's somebody other than CJ. I don't know what it looks like. Doesn't have to be that. It can be anything. It can be a tech. It could be a zone. It could be pressing. I want to see something different. Like change it up just a little bit. Let's make these guys on our team uncomfortable.
right.
Like they feel too comfortable, and that's what happens is you lose by a lot of points when you get a little too comfortable. Yeah. Okay. So I like that stuff. What's we'll hit what's your 3 keys to the game?
3 keys to the game are, let's see, stifling defense. I don't want them to score over 50 points. I mean, Iowa State held us to 58. Why can't we hold a terrible Minnesota team to under 50? Get out there and really show it, you know? Obviously, after our shooting performance, I want we have to hit threes to win. Because we're not going to the post, and people have figured out how to run our post right now. Until we evolve or change things, it's going to be that way, live and die by the 3. So let's make them. And I would say, just like every other game, low turnover. Keep the turnovers under 8. I'm not even going to say 10, under 8. and you win easily.
Okay. I'll do what I normally do: 3 defense, 3 offense. My defensive are pressure the ball. Pressure the ball, pressure the ball, pressure the ball. This is a team without their point guard. You should be able to make these guys uncomfortable. Make those guards beat you off the dribble. Make those guards create. Don't let them just walk it down and set up their offense, because that's the one thing Nico Medved is the lead at, is running good offense. They run a ton of back cuts, 45 cuts, screens. They don't do a ton of pick and roll, but they run a good offense. One would be to front the post. I don't think this is a team that's small. We're so much bigger. There's no reason that they should ever get the ball in the post without having to throw it over the top, and that's when they get in trouble. That's when teams turn it over. And then just be physical with Tyson. We're going to have a mismatch from a size perspective, but I think you can get into him a little bit. You can shake him up a little bit. That was part of his issue, I think, at North Carolina, was we had a bit of a head case issue when it came to like dealing with pressure and tougher environments and stuff, and that's why he never played there. So be physical with him, get on his ass, get the crowd on his butt, do the right things when it comes to that guy. Don't let anything be easy. And then from an offensive standpoint, I think we have to attack mismatches. We should have a lot in this game when it comes to size on any switches that they do. It's just, it shouldn't be a game where we have to worry about who's guarding Trey, Clough, or DJ. They're always going to have a mismatch. So feed those guys. And then rebound the ball. And when we do rebound the ball defensively, push the pace. Again, like I said earlier, this team doesn't play fast, and I know Purdue doesn't either. But this is a game where it can get you a ton of free points, just pushing the ball a little bit. And last thing, put Cade, and a lot of this is focused on him, in bad defensive spots. So run actions with him in them to get him moving, potentially in foul trouble. Just make his life uncomfortable on both ends, because that's the only guy on that team that can do enough to keep them in the game. If you eliminate him or just make him dog tired, they aren't deep, I think you win this game without even, blinking an eye. I think it's a no-brainer. Okay, what's the one thing Purdue, if Purdue does this, Purdue wins the game?
If Purdue feeds the post touches, easily win. Not much more to say.
Fair. And it's pretty basic too. If Purdue shoots 40% or better from 3, Purdue wins this game. Just don't be a no-show from the 3-point line like you were in the previous game. If it happens 2 games in a row, we have a problem. If it happens 1 game, it's just an anomaly, and I can move on and be done with it. What's the one thing that, if Minnesota does this, they have a chance?
If they muck it up,
Memphis style?
yeah, Memphis, or even if their defense is stifling, which I don't know that they're capable of, but if they can keep pressure on us, we don't handle that well. So,
yeah, I like that. My thing would be, I have 2, and they're really both kind of lame answers. One would be if Minnesota just shoots lights out from 3. It's not something they've showed they're capable of, but as we've mentioned multiple times throughout this podcast, it's something Purdue's capable of allowing, and we do it a lot. So don't let that happen. And then my other one would be if they get our bigs into foul trouble, that could become a weird game, because that's the one obvious advantage Purdue has on them is big man size. So don't get in foul trouble. Purdue's notorious. They draw a ton of fouls. But Purdue's notoriously not a high fouling team. So it'll be a battle of that. And if it does happen, can Purdue keep their heads? Can we keep a level head? Can we maintain? Can we persevere? Can we win a game even if things don't go perfectly our way? So, all right, KenPom, we'll wrap this up. Has this as a 19-point win for Purdue, 80-61. What are your thoughts on the game? How do you think it's going to go? Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to go with my heart here. What I think Purdue is capable of, 95-71. Get back in Mackey. Get back. I think that's it.
Yeah. I'm very close. I'm in that same ballpark, 25-ish points. My only difference is I think Purdue runs this up a little bit, and I don't think we give up quite that many points. I think it's 94-65, somewhere in that range. You have 24, I have 29. We both expect it to be a blowout. To me, if it's under a 20-point win, it's a kind of not a complete failure, but it's disappointing. Put it
Yeah.
that way. I want this game to be over at the under 8 timeout. It should be a 15 to 20 point game very quickly. Outside of, I have been in Mackey when teams have just made a few prayers early on, and you can't do anything defensively about that. Sometimes it just happens, but it does seem to happen at Purdue a lot. So let's avoid that. And let's just, this isn't a good shooting team. This isn't a good team. They are not deep. They have a first-year coach. They have everything working against them. It's in Mackey. It's a 7:00 game. The boys should be ready. So Wednesday night, get it done. There's no reason why Purdue shouldn't win this game. Any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
Nope. Get it done. Seniors lead the way. Actually lead the way. That would be my message if I was Matt Painter. This is on you guys. The big three, they're not looking so big right now. So why don't we do something about that and show America why, you have all this experience and you've played in a national title game. Act like it. So.
Yep, very similar. My message, if I'm Painter, I'm walking to that locker room and I shouldn't have to say a damn word to any of you. You know who you are and you know who you aren't. So be who you are. And if that's not enough, then I walk into that locker room after the game and things get really ugly really quick. But I expect Purdue to win this game pretty well. We do appreciate anybody who's watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that comment button. Tell us what you think. Tell us who you think is going to win, what you think the final score is going to be. We'll shout you out on the next episode, whoever's closest. If we get a few people telling us what you think your score is going to be, and whoever ends up being the closest, we'll give you a little shout out. Maybe even give you a little spot on one of our episodes at some point. So appreciate here I am just dropping stuff without even talking to you. Appreciate everybody. Check out our top 25 plus 5 we just put out on Twitter, at Purdue B-Ball Guy and at Paints Painter. It's a cool graphic that Dalton puts together with all the old school logos of the teams. So check out SMU's logo if you got a minute. It is quite funny. I can't believe they ever allowed that to be their logo.
That's hilarious, bro.
Yeah. And also want to shout out any late hanging ISU fans. I know there was a couple that watched our recap. Cyclone Larry is the worst person on Twitter that I've ever interacted with. I've never seen someone get so upset about a team being ranked 4th in the AP poll.
Yeah.
He is a psychopath, but somehow has 45,000 followers on Twitter. Anyway, thank you guys, and boiler up. Hopefully we get the dub tomorrow, and it's pretty resounding.
Boiler
Peace out.
up. Later.